Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Ramirez, and the topic I decided to do is who are deaf people. With that, I also wanted to connect it to a previous topic, a discussion topic where I talked about the discrimination people have faced in the job fields, which is why my visual art has people in different job opportunities. Sorry, excuse me. So according to an article I found, the nchearinglaws.org says deaf people are people who have little to no hearing availability. To you, my question I'm posing is who are deaf people to you? Do you only see them as someone who have hearing, who are hard of hearing? Or is it someone who is um who is deaf? um, do you see that as a disability for that person? Another question I pose is what kind of jobs do you think a deaf person should work at? Do you believe is there a certain type of jobs where a deaf person shouldn't work at? In your opinion. So I connected it to the previous discussion because so many deaf people have faced so many discrimination at their job place. An article I found previously, they mentioned that one in four people face discrimination in their job field, and half of them don't even report being um, discriminated. They just leave the job, and then this happens a lot. So discrimination happens a lot in the work field, right? So for my visual art essay, I decided to use watercolor painting, and I also used a Sharpie marker. So what I did for my visual essay, I have three different job opportunities that I know deaf people can go into. So we have a firefighter, a teacher, and an actor. Um, Personally, I didn't know deaf people went into firefighter. I did see it in a movie where in a show where it's called Station 19. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Where in one of the episodes where one of the teams got like trapped in like a fireplace in LA. So they traveled from Seattle to LA, and they got trapped. They got surrounded by fire, and like the only person who knew how to get them out was a deaf person. So for me, while watching that scene, like I was surprised seeing a deaf firefighter. But what also surprised me was that the main commander kind of like um, not did forgot didn't pay attention to him when he was talking. So like he kind of like brushed him off every time he said something. But there was someone from that team who didn't go into the fire. Like he had to stay back. So he was like, no, like he's saying he has valuable information and that can get him out. So we should hear them out. So like that shows how discrimination makes you how discrimination in the workplace by hearing boss gets you dismissed right away. Like they believe you have no valuable information. And personally, I think that is that is wrong and not true. Deaf people to have so much to prove to the hearing world because they think because we as hearing people, I'm not saying like we as a class, but like the hearing people community believe that deaf people should just stick to like um jobs that we don't want, like jobs that a hearing person wouldn't like to do, like a job where it doesn't where they don't have to communicate with anyone, so so they don't have to like suffer, or like so they can be left alone, and the bosses and like other coworkers don't have to try to talk to them, and then they can be on their own. But I believe that's wrong. A deaf person should be free to do whatever he wants. They should be free to talk to whoever they want. If they want a job as a first responder, they should be able to do it. They should have that support from other people, in order to be able to succeed and show that they can be better at the job than a hearing person. Just because they lack one of their senses doesn't mean they should be stopped from doing what they want to do. The second job that I put is teacher. We see many deaf people become teachers, either for kindergartens, first, second, through elementary, or we see them becoming ASL teachers. So they teach non-deaf, or they teach deaf people to how to like how to sign ASL. So they become teachers. And another one is actors. We have actors who are deaf because a lot of directors put people who are not deaf, and they give the wrong um, interpretation of what being deaf is. Many movies who have deaf actors are not actually deaf, and they see it as wrong. Since there is actual deaf people out in the world, they should be used, and not used, but they should be used as an actor. They should be able to portray their actual ideas and interpretations, since they live being deaf their whole life. So to me, any type of job should be available to anyone. To anyone. Um, a